guys from a podcast called "This Podcast Is Making Me Thursday Want to Talk to You," and I think and I said, you don't have to tell me what it's about. I said, if it's called "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty," you definitely don't need to tell me what it's about, and I'm going on. This is what I want to do.
It's a Seinfeld podcast. It's called "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty." But I thought, this is what a podcast should be.
I just did the Seinfeld guys pod the other day. It came up.
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
Oh,
that one. Shout out. We've done it. I've done it. Have you did it?
I've not gotten a chance to do it yet. I'm looking forward to it.
It's so fun. They're so fun.
When I don't know, it must have shown up in my feed, but I see these guys tweeting about Seinfeld. I'm like, oh, what's this? And I find it's a podcast called "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty."
One of the most popular Seinfeld podcasts is "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty," co-hosted by Chris O'Hara and Tony Chula.
Welcome to "This Podcast Is Making Me Thirsty," the number one destination for Seinfeld fans. This is 2 Up and 2 Down. Here's our producer, Chris, to start us off. All right, welcome to another episode of 2 Up and 2 Down. And today we are doing the Scofflaw season 6 episode. And Tony, start us off here. You know the drill. What's your first up? Scofflaw. This is always an interesting one for me. It's one of the ones that the name throws me off for some reason. I get this a little confused with the ticket, and we'll get to it in a little while. The whole Kramer and Newman in the courtroom. And we'll get to it, maybe I'll just say, to me, I would rename this episode. There's plenty of things we can call it. I think the Scofflaw throws it off for me. It's season 6 also, which makes it in that kind of middle meat. Everything in season 6 is pretty much in that middle, good, not bad range, but not 3, 4, 5, even 2. Anyway, Howard, give us the rundown. It's a Melman episode, so keep that in mind. We're going to give it a little boost there. Again, I have a lot of notes, but they don't pop out as ups, big ups here that I got to get out of the way. But that said, I am going to give my first up because I always go back to this scene. I love this scene when Jerry breaks George to give the secret away. What do you got, George? I'm calling. What do you got here, George? Are you holding a flush? Not a flush. You got a full house. Let me see him. And George just breaks. I like that dynamic there. Jerry knows he got him. He knows he's holding something, and he starts digging him, and George just can't take it. He's like, oh yeah, you got 2 pair, you got 3 of a kind. He keeps going up and up, and George finally lets it out. Jerry just smiles like I got him. Nothing huge, but it's a season 6. Jerry and George in the apartment, both doing what they do best. So for me, out of what I have here, that's what I want to make sure I get out there because I use that scene a lot. I use that kind of a lot in weird ways. Like, what do you got? Come on, give it to me. So that's my first up.
All right, yeah, good one, Tony. Thank you, Chris. Over to you. What's your first up here?
Yeah, that didn't feel like an enthusiastic up. I'm getting a sense here early from my partner.
Because I'm not yelling. Is that why my voice is calm? Because I'm trying not to scream because I'm waking up my neighborhood here.
Perhaps. So listen, the Scofflaw.
Enthusiasm. I know I dropped my voice.
The Scofflaw, January 26, 1995. Again, another, Mount Rushmore. Peter Melman wrote this one. 33.4 million people tuned in. And I'll tell you why. That night, Fox had New York Undercover on, okay? CBS with Ed Bradley and Dan Rather, rest in peace, Ed Bradley. I think Rather's still alive. In the Killing Fields of America. That was a must-watch, I'm sure. And ABC had the NFL at 75. Remember that? The 75 best players, the whole thing. We fast forward. I think we got over 100 years now, obviously, if I'm doing the math. With the NFL. All right, here we go. Tony went with that scene. Okay. You know what I'm going to go? I'm going to go with the hair guy, the salesman. His name is Basil Hoffman. No, I don't think your friend's being helpful. He sounds like a Muppet, and he just everything you'd want that toupee salesman to be. He had the comb and, the whole thing with him. He was so passionate. And listen, this is Hirschfeld. I mean, he finds these just diamonds in a rough. This guy had one scene, and boy, did he take advantage of it and just elevated this show. Yeah, we'll get there when we get there. But hair guy, first up, the toupee guy.
All right, very good. So Tony, back to you. What's your second up?
That was going to be my second up. I love that guy, and I love the back and forth with Jerry. With Jerry's like, I don't want to be one of the people who go Snickers. No, no offense to you personally. He just throws that in there after he just goes crazy. Really good. That guy's crazy. Like, he gets all upset there. No, that guy's great. Incredible up. My second up here. I got a couple here. I mean, there's a few ways I can go with this. I'm gonna do, but I'm just gonna do this because it's one of my all-time favorite Georges. I know it's small, but I love when George has confidence and he just walks in at the end with the blazer on, it taps on the thing. He's got the brown shoes and the jeans all dressed up. He says, "How's your life? All right?" And the girl just, "Yeah, not bad." Pushes the chair away. Great ending. Great George. There's a lot, obviously, but I'm going to go with that small little thing there because it just kind of, after it's all said and done, George goes through with it and he's happy and he's got the confidence. He walks right in, and then that chick's there and he just taps on the thing there with Ruthie Cohen. Such a good George. When George has that like swagger, it's great because what's coming next. They don't do it in this episode. They let it sit and let him end on that note, and we don't see it till later on next episode when he kind of loses it back. But good stuff from me on that one. I think I like when George is dressed up too. It reminds me of the same outfit he wears when he comes in Donnie Baseball with a great day for a ball game. Let's play two. It's the same vibe, same outfit. That's one of my favorite Georges. Whenever he's on top for a minute, he really milks it well. So that's my second up.
Yeah, we had a interesting talk with Judy Crown, the hairdresser that did the wigs, and she said like she tried to make it look bad on George, but I actually like it on George. I wish he wore it for a whole season. But anyway, yeah, good scene there, Tony. So I like that up. Chris, back to you. What's your second up?
Yeah, I had that as well. I mean, yeah, that girl, good Lord. And for some, I put. Speaking of like looking good, I put Elaine looked great in this episode. I don't remember what she was wearing, what she looked like, but I wrote it. So, but there's a lot. To your point, there's a lot going on in this episode. You got Littman, you got Jarmel. Like, there's a lot going on. But I'm gonna go with the opening scene when George comes into Jerry's apartment and Kramer's there. And George is Kramer. I need to talk to Jerry privately. I love Kramer. What about? And he's like, Kramer. Oh, come on, George. Can you share with me next time? Like a big brother. Like he just that whole vibe. And you sure you're gonna share with me next time? And he's just standing by the door. Like that's just a closing. Like Kramer would have given 2 Fs, whatever the news was. Like. He's a guy in theory you could kind of trust. He'll always speak his mind, but I don't think he's not going to run and tell anybody. Who does he know? Bob Sacamano? I don't think he runs in the same circles as Gary Fogel and whoever, whatever that circle is. There's always kind of a new circle of friends, but so that first scene with Kramer, share with me next time. Always love that, and it kind of. I love when episodes kick off well. They may not end well, but they kick off well. That's important. So, second up.
Yeah, and in that scene too, we know about Kramer's entrances. He has a good exit there where he just kind of like sneaks peek, as he's closing the door. I like that too. So, yeah, good one there, Chris. So, Tony, we're going to the downs now, shifting gears. What's your first one?
Yeah, that was actually a good up. I didn't even write that went down, but it's a good up. I agree. I feel like Michael Rich might have ad-libbed some of that too. It just seems that he did just to kind of mess with Jason. But to piggyback off that now, because my down, it might be too big. I don't know if you're going to think it's too big. Maybe I'll do 2 things here, but yeah, it's a big part of the episode. It's the white whale stuff. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. Like Kramer with the cop, I guess, is what I'll say. Kramer with the cop kind of tied into the whole thing, the eye patch, the whole thing there. I don't love it. I think Melman, again, he had Jerry, he had George, he had Elaine, and we'll get to it, but I feel like he needed to somehow, give Kramer something. And in Kramer's beginning was great, but that's just Kramer being Kramer. This was giving Kramer a plot line, and I didn't like it. I don't know what else to say. The white whale stuff falls flat for me. He would know Newman's car. Let's just start with that. I mean, right there, I'm like, what are we doing? He as soon as he sees the car, and then he finds out it's Newman later on. Cops giving the whole big story. My white whale. I don't know. I don't love it. Going back to the title of the episode, it is what that episode kind of makes you think of, which hurts it, I think, in my opinion. So we'll get there, but that's my first down is the Scofflaw aspect of the episode and Kramer with the cop and the eye patch.
Yeah, I could go to because to me too, it always seemed like something off there that like I'm just not buying it. Yeah, so good point. Chris, over to you. What's your first down?
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't take the whole thing because I want to kind of take the bridge and fill this out. I think it starts with him with the eye patch in Monks. Just that whole conversation, like, oh, it's itchy, and I want to be a pirate. Like, I think they said that. Like, enough of the pirate stuff, okay? And then that just stems into like when we finally introduce Newman, and like Newman's crying, and they're going to court. Like, what are we doing? Newman crying? And then why is Kramer going with him? Like, he's not a lawyer. He's doing his good deed of the day. Yeah, you made this point. It confuses me with kind of the banker scene, the banker stuff at the court. I know Tony always had issues with that. I didn't even like the judge on this one. She was just like, a little bit of a miss there. Or maybe they just keep the same judge they've always had. Like, they mix things up a little too much. But yeah, the eye patch stuff, just as to your point, is the whole episode. But you were taking kind of the white whale stuff, which I agree with, like him and the cop. You pig, like, and then Kramer. Why is Kramer running away? I mean, but just to come full circle and use the eye patch as a bridge, as that extends into the Newman stuff. And I usually love Kramer and Newman dynamic, and it's season 6. Like, this isn't like the Millennium and all the nonsense they're doing later. Like, this is still, for the most part, obviously Larry David's still there, but it went a little off the rails. And to your point, it's the name of the episode, so there you go. But yeah, the white whale extended is my first up, so I'm kind of doubling down a little bit with you there.
All right, yeah. So your first down is part of go piggyback on Tony's. So Tony, your second down. What do you got there?
Yeah, that piggyback. It also kind of took my second one because I don't know. There's just so much going on there. It all's not good. Like he mentioned, the courtroom scene. That was kind of going to be my second one because they needed the parking spot to become a thing. So let's make sure that he needs a parking spot for the Scofflaw. Just a lot kind of cramming in there. None of it was good. But I'm not even going to use this as my second down because we both kind of used it already. So in the interest of how we do this, I kind of just grabbed another one. And again, O'Hara might not like this one. Maybe he will, though. I think the Lippman stuff I could do with that. They kind of crammed that in too. Like they're bringing Lippman back all of a sudden. Where did he even come from? All of a sudden, him and Elaine are just talking, and she might have a job, and then he gets the glasses, and the guy gets mad. Jarmel gets mad. I mean, I love Jarmel. I mean, Marty Rackman, one of the greatest guests we ever had, and I love Jarmel in this. I was going to give it up on Jarmel. What's with the pepper, the whole thing there. I love when he here you go, K-Man. He gives Kramer the book. Good stuff there. So it's definitely not Jake Jarmel is my down. It's another cram in. It's how can we keep this glasses bit going, and let's just bring Lippman back. We all love Lippman. Don't get me wrong, but I hate to do it. I mean, this episode is just kind of all over the place. It is a typical season 6 episode. It's not really because it's the lower end of season 6. It's not a terrible episode though. There's a lot of good stuff in it. So we'll get the grades, but I just feel like it's a little bit disjointed whenever we're talking about non-George Jerry stuff. And I think that's what we're getting at here. O'Hara just piggybacked on the Scofflaw stuff. I'm even throwing in Lippman now because I think that got a little bit silly. I did like the guy with the glasses though that Elaine gets the glasses from. That guy wasn't bad. But I'm gonna go down on Lippman's involvement.
Yeah, I can see that. So yeah, it's a good point to bring up. Chris, over to you. You're second up here. What do you got?
Second down, but or did I give it? Yeah, second down. Yeah, it's funny. I wrote Lippman as an up. I just wrote "Good to see you," publishing legend, but I didn't really have anything other than that because the Jarmel Lippman thing. You're right. I remember when we interviewed Marty Rackman. I don't even remember that scene at the end. It's one of those where you kind of thought the episode ended, right? With George, how's your life? And then you get that whole thing. I have a couple downs. The whole poker face stuff. Like George is the greatest liar of all time. I mean, he does have a good poker face. That always kind of was odd to me. But here's what I'll go with. This is kind of a theme my partner brings up a lot. Is Melman trying to be a little gimmicky with like catchphrases and stuff, and the whole, he said hi. I didn't say hi. I said, give him my regards. Like, I don't know. I didn't think it just wasn't that funny. Like, what's the difference? Like, acknowledging someone, in my opinion, is saying hello, right? This kind of ties back to the bank. Hey, hi, like all these different variations of hello. But either way, the girl went out with George, like, and now she's saying it's not a date. I don't know. Like, that bothered me a little bit. So. And I think he wanted to get people, like I said, talking at the water cooler, like, I didn't say hi to you. I said regards, like maybe there was something there he wanted to make bigger than it was. I could be overthinking it, but it just felt like that. It felt a little like maybe this will be the next, big thing. Like I'll be able to articulate what hi and regards mean. So that fell a little flat. And then obviously she said she was in love with Gary, the whole thing. So second down is the whole high regard stuff.
Yeah, and how she end up in his car anyway? Like, if you weren't that into him, you would just had met him out somewhere. I know you were old friends, but yeah. So that whole scene, yeah, is a down in my opinion too. So that wraps everything up. So Tony, back to you. Final thoughts and grades here. Lay it on us.
Yeah, I got a lot there in O'Hara's thing there because I got a lot on that too. First of all, the hand stuff they just pulled from Pez Spencer, right? When Elaine's like, "I had hand in the relationship. You just ruined it. I had hand." The whole thing there they pull from Pez, which I thought was interesting. They foreshadowed the rye. Well, why'd you say it was hot and heavy? I wasn't hot and heavy. Why'd you say hi? I didn't say hi. They throw that in there too. So there's a lot going on there that they use often. To Harris' point, I didn't mind. I liked. You were supposed to be mad at the woman, and I liked George's reaction. It was funny in the car. I thought George's reaction was funny. It's kind of similar to the whole watch freak reaction. We just like, okay, we're not on a date. Like, what's going on here? It was kind of funny, but I get O'Hara's point. It was also kind of not great. Perspective. I think he says he has a lot of perspective. George is like, yeah, okay, a lot of just good reactions by George, but you got Bob Shaw, the cab driver, with Elaine on the whole. Did he say hi? Regards thing. So some of that I agree is downs. I had some of that also sort of ups, which is what this episode really is. It's a lot of good, bad, okay, not great, laugh here. I think O'Hara's right. It should have ended with George and the whole walking into monks. Perfect ending. What's with the pepper? We already went over. You got Jerry Seinfeld's dad sign in the background. Cal signs. Good point about George. He is a great liar. Then, the whole poker face thing doesn't make much sense, which made me double think some stuff there. So I'll give you that. Good point there, Mikey. Listen, I'm all over the place on this one. I got 3 grades written down. I will say this, they're all in the B range. I don't think I'm going into C's. I don't think it's that bad of an episode. I think the scene O'Hara described with the toupee guy is great. We didn't mention John Lovitz. I thought John Lovitz was great. It's a perfect role for him. Hey, Jack. I mean, this was John Lovitz. If you like John Lovitz, this is him to a T. Bring back Jarmel, who we all love. I gave Lippman a down, but he's in the episode. I just didn't like the Newman stuff. I didn't like the Kramer stuff. it's not a B plus. So I'm going to cross that out. I'm between a B and a B minus, I think. It's just like it's an okay season 6 episode. It's not gonna be, I'm not turning it off to O'Hara's kind of litmus test. I don't think I'm turning off this. It starts great, like O'Hara said, that keeps you into it a little bit. And then you just kind of wait for Jamel to show up and you go from there and you wait for the final ending. I'm gonna go B minus on the Scofflaw. I don't know. I can't go as low as a C. I'm not going to argue a B, but I don't know. I'm interested what my partner has here. He seems making face like he's going way low. He's in D range over here or something. I don't know what he's doing. He's talking me down with his facial expressions. I don't know. I think a B minus is fair. I mean, we're talking Melman here. This is Melman. Come on now. How low are you going? I'm interested, but mine's a B minus. That's as low as I'm willing to go. I'm not going to argue too much against, you're calling out. We'll see what his grade is, but go a little lower. I'm not going to argue it, but that's my grade, B minus.
All right. Is that a fair grade, Chris? What do you got?
Not so fast. Well, here's the thing. He had 3 grades in the B's. I have 3 grades, and there's only 1 in the B's. And listen, my partner talked up Lovitz. Great. He talked up Jarmel. Great. He talked up Littman. Great. He talked up the hot woman. Great. He talked up the hair guy. Great. He didn't really talk up anybody of the 4 main characters. To me, that's a problem. All right. Listen, Kramer grabbing George, the whip stuff, kind of like little here and there funny lines. The whole Scofflaw stuff, which is the name of the episode, Tony mentions terrible. Newman crying. Did Elaine? I said Elaine looked great in this episode, but what did she do in this episode? Like running to Walden Books, upset about the high thing and the glasses from Indonesia, wherever the hell they're from. I don't know. She kind of didn't really bring it. Obviously George with the hair and even, there were little hints of later George, him yelling, she's not your wife, you be nice. Like just little seed droppings, okay, that I picked up on. So I don't know. I mean, Jerry had his moments, like you said, the hair guy. Jerry's always going to kind of be the consistent one. Yeah, it's Melman. I'm tinkering on the 2 grades in the C's here. The more I think about it, I'm going to give it an even C. I can't even give it the C plus. It's just something off because of the main 4. Really, none of them like really stepping up here, and I have an issue with.
George and Jerry were all right. Lane wasn't bad, but all right, Melman, you're going C and a Melman. All right, hey, fair. I like it.
Melman's Mount Rushmore, but listen, even Mickey Mantle used to strike out sometimes,
All right, well, folks, there you have it. A B minus C. I think, you got good arguments both ways, however you want to see it. I don't think too many people are going to give this an A or go much above a B anyway. So I think these are fair assessments. Again, we want to hear from our fans too. Give us a comment on this episode, the Scofflaw, and we'll see everybody on our next 2 Up, 2 Down.